Peace, people. Welcome to the latest episode of the Rough Draft. I am your host, Kevin Alberto Sabio. And in this episode, I'll be talking about what I've been reading lately. Thank you for tuning in to this latest episode of the Rough Draft. Due to the coronavirus, like everybody else, I ended up having to lose my day job. And unfortunately for me, because it's a physical labor job, I wasn't able to telecommute from home. So I needed to find some way to fill my time. Generally, what I was doing was working on my manuscript projects, a lot of my unfinished book ideas, novels, and whatnot. And sometimes I just didn't have the motivation to be able to continue working on those projects. So the next best thing for me to do was to order some books online and be able to read some books in order to find some inspiration. You know what I'm saying? Something to help me to motivate me to write more projects and actually have them be a little bit more believable, have them be a little bit more concrete, more fleshed out, more well developed. And so I started ordering a lot of different books on a lot of things about history and culture. One of the books that I actually ordered was called Free the Land, Republic of New Africa, and the Pursuit of a Black Nation State. So this is actually a very interesting book. I knew about the Republic of New Africa. I didn't know a whole lot about it. They were an organization, actually, they were a government in exile. Um, their whole concept of African American sovereignty and us having our own nation state, because we did as a people compromise as a nation within a nation. So, and their whole goal was to actually acquire at least a number of about one, two, three, four, five states in the southern part of the United States, and that would be, saying, our own country. I knew a little bit about the organization. I've done a lot of study of like the civil rights and black power movements. So I've heard the organization's name. I didn't know a whole lot about the organization itself. So when I found out about this book being available, I was glad that I was able to order it and read about it and learn more about this organization. So that was very informative to me. Another book that I ordered is called Black Power and the Garvey Movement. So this is a book that was about the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association. I'm actually very familiar with this organization as I was actually a member. I used to be a card carrying official member of the organization. I was a part of them from about 2006 until about 2014 when I officially left the organization. So I'm actually very familiar with the organization and its history and aware of like its founder and a lot of the things that the organization has done in its history. I'm actually aware of a number of the different UNI and Garvey scholars. This one is written by a brother named Theodore Vincent. So most of my library about the UNIA, I already have most of their other well-known scholars. Theodore Vincent was one of them who I didn't have in my possession. So I was glad to be able to order the book and have another Garvey scholar in my library. Another book that I ordered that I wanted to read about is Thomas Sankara Speaks, The Burkina Faso Revolution from 1983 to 1987. So this was another book that I ordered and I got online and I was able to read. Um, I've actually been aware of Thomas Sankara, so I remember the whole post-colonial African independence movement. He's one of the leaders of the African independence movement that I had known about. I didn't know a whole heck of a lot about him. I didn't know about him being the leader of Burkina Faso. But as far as like reading like his speeches and knowing the history of the country and what he did while he was running the country, I didn't have that much information on. So when I found out that that book was available, I was glad I was able to order it and buy it and be able to read it. So, because like I've been aware of a number of different like African leaders on the continent. Julius Nyerere, Kwame Nkrumah, obviously, you say Sekou Touré. I've heard of Leopold Senghor, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Amilcar Cabral. I know of a number of them, and I know a number of them have actually written books about their movements. So when I found out about his, I'm glad I got a chance to buy it and read it, and it was very informative for me. Another book that I ordered is called Fighting for Us, Maulana Karenga, the Us Organization, and Black Cultural Naturalism. So this was another book that I ordered that I think is very informative. Um, I knew only a little bit about the organization, Us. I did know about Maulana Karenga. I do know that he was the leader of the organization. I know about him also being the founder of Kwanzaa, the creator of Kwanzaa, I should say. He was the founder of the organization, Us, and everything like that. I knew more about Maulana Karenga and a lot of his academic works. I didn't know that much about the organization Us and its history. I'm glad I was able to buy the book and learn more about the organization and its history. And I think their history is very much undervalued. I think most people only know about the organization and their conflict with the Black Panther Party for self-defense, and that's it. They don't really know a whole heck of a lot about the organization. So I was able to buy this book, learn more about Us and a lot of the other contributions that they've made. And I'm just like, this is a really deep book. And it's very informative. There's a lot of information in there, like a lot of the culture that they try to spread to a lot of us. You say, other than you saying the creation of the holiday Kwanzaa, they created Kawaii, which is, I guess, a spiritual way for us to like really be able to carry ourselves as a people. And I think it was just very deep and very informative, and it really helped a lot for me. I learned a lot about the organization and their history, and a lot of their contributions to the Black Power movement as well. So that's something that for me is just very, very deep, and I'm very glad that I got a chance to read that book. Another book for me is called A Coma Day Guidebook into the Sacred Science of Soul Mating. So this is another one that I recently purchased. I briefly talked about A Coma Day in one of my own videos. I believe it was in episode 7. So I've actually heard about the holiday A Coma Day. I was aware of it, I'd say back in 2015, 2016, something to that. This book actually helps me to learn a little bit more about them and the organization, its founders, and the holiday itself. So it goes more in depth because I didn't even know that the holiday was started back in 2006. So that was something that for me was very important to know. And then just like the whole process, because first of all, like I said, I've mentioned this before about Akuma Day. The holiday is it is an alternative, a cultural alternative to Valentine's Day. So it runs from February 14th to February 20th. So it lasts 7 days, just like Kwanzaa does. As a matter of fact, Kwanzaa is kind of a guide to what Akoma Day is. But Akoma Day actually really does focus on building the family, building up, relationships and whatnot, and making it very culturally relevant to us as people of African descent. Because actually, it lasts 7 days. It has 7 principles and 7 virtues as well. So if you really want to know more about the holiday and the concepts behind it and everything, you really should get that book. And now, because of the fact that I was aware of the holiday, now that I have the book, I can really practice that holiday the way it's supposed to be practiced. So instead of just telling everybody about it, like especially on my social media and like everything, I can actually practice it myself in person. So definitely I'm gonna start doing that. Another book that I ordered is called Asafo, A Warrior's Guide to Manhood. This is a very deep book. Very, very deep. I actually just finished reading it. It's very informative. It's very culturally relevant. Wow. It kind of blew my mind a little bit. It is a very, very deep book. I mean, it's like I've read books like obviously stuff written by John Henry Clark. Obviously, read stuff written by Amilcar Cabral. I've read some stuff from Frantz Fanon, a brother named I Am Nerve. So this is now one of my favorite books that I've read. It's very deep. It's very culturally relevant. And it's actually very inspiring for me now. It's like I still got ideas running in my head right now. That can definitely influence me with some of my manuscript ideas that I have that's running around. And lastly, pretty much is another book called Iwa, A Warrior's Character. So this has been the most recent book that I purchased. I haven't started reading it yet, but I am gonna start reading it pretty soon. It's deep. It's very deep. So I know, like I said, those other people who I named before, like John Henry Clark, Franz Fanon, and Milka Cabral, I am nerd. I've read their books. Also, another brother named Ezra Aharon. Like I've read their works, and they're very deep. And I know once I start reading Iwa, that book's probably just going to really blow my mind and just really be able to inform me culturally. So those are the recent books that I've been reading recently. They've really helped me to learn a lot culturally, a lot about history, a lot about our people, and they really added a lot to my life. So take advantage of that while you're during this lockdown. You see, and especially now with the holidays coming up, definitely you should invest in these books, especially books about our people. And if you can, definitely get them from black-owned bookstores if you can, like especially if they have an online component. So thank you very much for tuning into this episode of The Rough Draft. If you want to get a copy of my own personal books that I've written, they're available in paperback format. You can go to Amazon.com, Barnes& and Nobles, Books A Million. If you're interested in reading any of my books in ebook format, they're available through ebook distributors such as Nook, Kobo, iTunes, Kindle, Scribd, Playster, 24 Symbol, yada 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 yada. They are also available in ebook format for libraries. So you could go to Hoopla, Baker and Taylor, Biblioteca, Overdrive, and go there and download it for libraries. If you are watching this on YouTube, definitely like the video. Please leave a comment, give me some feedback on it. Definitely subscribe to my channel and definitely press the notification button so that way you'll know about any of the other videos that I've been dropping recently. So thank you very much for tuning into this episode of Rough Draft. Thank you for supporting me. Definitely keep a fist raised. I'm always on my literary grind and basically be safe, people. Please stay safe. You saying look out for each other, and I hope you stay healthy. Peace.